Sup Team KBA, One Tech Traveler here. Now today I'm going to share my thoughts reviewing the ASRV ViralOff vented face mask. There's definitely an argument trying to find a face mask better suited if you are looking to exercise, workouts outdoors, or just being more active, something more durable and rigid than the typical disposable face mask that I do have here. So I'll kind of talk about the difference. Now if you want to read my review, check it out on my website at onetechtraveler.com. Let's go! Now, ASRV likes to put a lot of pioneering technology to improve or enhance the kind of garments that they are delivering, as I've seen throughout my joggers, my hoodie, coats. You can check out my other ASR reviews on my website or the videos on my YouTube channel. So I've always generally been very impressed with the kind of premium quality ASRV delivers. They're using ViralOff, which is an antibacterial tech that kind of breaks down a lot of the viral activity on the exterior part of the mask, which means it's not going to develop any of that bacterial buildup as you are working up a sweat, really pushing hard. It's made of 2 layers. There is no like separate filter here. It's just bonded from the exterior and the inner layer, which is a bit more comfortable on the skin. And while it's important to note, these aren't like N94 or KF95 rated masks. You will find that there are 2 fitted valves directly built inside the face mask, which is basically going to enable better breathability while providing a protective shield in today's sort of social distance era. Now, just to show you what it looks like, kind of looks like this. This is in their brushed black camo, which is very slick. They offer it in normal solid colors as well, but you can see this is how it kind of fits. There's a little piece underneath my jawline that sort of tucks underneath for a better form and fit. And then we also have a metal piece that allows you to really press and mold the nose piece depending on your face profile. On the side, we have a fairly elasticated loop that wraps around your ear. And then just behind me, we have this sort of block that kind of holds once you've decided the sizing, and you kind of freely adjust that also. You can see the valve, we have one here and one here, and it's kind of just lined towards the corner of my mouth, and it has a nice fit, which normally face masks are supposed to have in terms of the shielding protection. But these valves are just gonna allow the air that you are rapidly perspiring much better than normal shields. Now, the good thing, you don't just get one of these, you actually get 2. My other one is currently drying off after using it from a heavy, intense workout today, but means I can have one sort of freshening up after a hard day workout, and then I can have a clean one to work for the next day if I'm going to work out again, or just if I'm going about casually outside. So I like that it comes with 2. It's very well built. I would say it's kind of a mid-weight sort of face mask, so it's not very heavy and dense, kind of like other face masks that I've used, like the Aeronum, but these aren't very thin and light, kind of like your disposable ones that aren't really going to give you much protection, or it's just going to cause problems when you're at work. You can machine wash this or hand wash it with a soap. So in terms of your standard usage, it's not going to require any particular type of care. As well as the mask, we also get an elastic loop, and this is actually going to wrap behind your head. So if you want more of a secured fit, generally I don't really use these because I find the fitting on these to be good enough. But if you want an extra secure fit, or if you want to have the mask sort of hanging down once you've sort of finished, or want a little breather before you put it back on, this can just rest on your lower head or your neck. It does have 3 sort of clips, so it clips on the ear loops and you just press it in, it'll be like that. And then on the other side, like that, so it'll kind of clip into the ear loop face mask. It is one size, so it's roughly a medium to a large. I have quite a small head, so it's a little bit looser, but you can adjust the ear loop and make it a bit more fitted on the side so it's not like hanging. I like that it comes in this very high quality pouch. has that same brushed camo color and pattern, depending on what pattern you get with your mask. So I like the consistency. And this is actually really nice, heavy duty. It has a secure like loop, so you can really fasten it in. It has a ViralOff and ASRV tag. And yeah, it's kind of a nice way of just packing in these face masks. Whether you'll spare one, this is very presentable and not mixing in with everything else in your bag. Now, previously, I was kind of just using typical face mask when I was working out. I just use these surgical masks that are disposable. You can see it's very thin, there's no additional layers, and it's kind of the like minimum means of how you should be shielding yourself when you're social distancing, but it does pose a lot of difficulty when I'm exercising. So this generally just has a standard fit. You might get a little bit of air gaps, but this fits pretty good, and I can adjust it so it goes all the way around, which is fine. But again, it's like paper thin, and as you can imagine, it's like 35-40 degrees in Seoul in the summer. So when I'm working out outside, I'm absolutely dripping, and all of that sweat and moist, it absorbs the water, so it's a lot more saggy. And then because it's very thin, then you start to actually, then the water just like really holds up. The sweat just like penetrates through the face mask. So even when I'm finished my workout, as I'm walking, you would just see like big splashes of like moist and sweat that have built up and have been absorbed by the face mask. It also lacks any kind of like rigidity or like structure. So while it looks fine when it's not wet, over time as you're wearing moist, it's just going to kind of like fall apart and lose that structure. You can kind of see the mask like moving in as I'm breathing. And that becomes a bigger issue when you're like sweating a lot and this is kind of soaked and a little bit like icky. Every time you're breathing, the material's kind of like covering your mouth, so it's actually even more difficult to breathe. So over time, you're kind of gonna pull it down. Pushing hard during your exercise, it does make it very difficult to breathe and can actually disrupt your flow and your routine and your overall performance. The next one we have is a KF94 rated face mask. So you can see it is a bit more durable, a little bit thicker. We have different loops, and these loops I actually like. It's kind of rounded. It's just like a paper material, but very soft on the ears. And you can see we have some structure now. We've got an overlaying piece at the top. Also has a metal piece to sort of mold the nose. And then we have some extra fitting on the bottom with the main piece here. This is a little bit thicker than this, so we have a bit more protection for the bacteria and the virus that's sort of floating in the air. And generally for day-to-day use, this is really good. It's going to give you a bit more protection, and breathing with it is fine. That being said, when it comes to working out, this is like pretty heavy duty. There's no airlet, or because it's quite dense, the material, then breathing again is quite an issue with this. If you are working out, you're probably going to find there's just no way for the air to like escape well, and you do need it to be fitted. So normally, as you're trying to catch your breath, you're just going to take it off and really breathe in heavily. So it's also going to impact your performance and flow while you are working out. Normally, I was kind of using this before I got the ASRV vented face mask. I like the design, and again, because it's kind of a one size medium to large, then the fitting can vary. It sort of hangs a little bit loose, but again, the ear loop can make it a little bit better. But with this, it's just far more breathable. Like, I like the design, kind of stands out. Again, these valves are just more for like breathability and ventilation, of getting the air like you're breathing heavy out so that you can continuously like breathe. I have no problem breathing with this when I'm doing like bench presses, like dips, anything intensive, running, like working out. Just this is much nicer to work with. That being said, I do have a few like issues with the face mask. The main one is kind of the ear loop here. It has a reasonable amount of stretch. However, I will say if you go for a tighter fit, it will start to cause earache. So I've experienced that with a few face masks, and it's mainly this like block here. You might be able to see this can kind of like rub against the back of my ear, which causes a little bit of issues. Another one is just because the material stretch is kind of putting tension towards the back of my ear to like press in. So of course you want to loosen it, and I don't get that problem as much. But if you're finding the fit isn't really as ideal as you'd want it, then adjusting this, you might just need to play around with it to make sure it's pretty comfortable. When I'm actually working out, it's not a big deal. And generally, once you've sort of spent some time early on to make it fit you well, then for the rest of that time, it's going to be nice. And then it's like that, and then you can kind of fit it. So yeah, it's not bad. Just sort of minor details, but very impressed with this. An excellent active face mask to just work out in, that's going to not build up any bacteria inside on the outside, easy to wash and clean. You don't get any kind of smell or that like wet, moist smell. So I like that. Design is cool. The metal clip really makes foaming around my nose nicely, and you do get great coverage. I would prefer if the bottom part was a little bit more fitted, and then maybe just changing the block, just making a little bit more of a softer material so it's not rubbing against the ear. But really excellent face mask to work out in. I enjoy it a lot. I notice a very big difference compared to conventional KF94 face masks or even these disposable ones. That's my experience of the ASRV face mask. If you find it useful, give it a big thumbs up. Check out my review on my website at onetechtraveler.com. Thanks a lot, Team KBA. I'll see you in the next video. But until then, keep being awesome. Peace.
No.